Hey, what's going on, people of the internet? My name is Kylie, and today I'm going to be starting some lettuce because my lettuce is dwindling back there, so I absolutely need to start some new lettuce. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be using the Kratky method, which is a non-circulating way of growing. So basically all you really need is a container. The container of my choice is a mason jar. This is a 32-ounce mason jar. You can obviously go up to 64. That would be more ideal, but I like these because you can buy a sleeve for it, and then also there's these inserts for pods. So if you want to get all the materials that I use, I do have them all in my Amazon shop, but for me this is just really convenient. And then also I ran out of pods yesterday, so I ordered some more. Luckily they came today. That's what I love about instant gratification with Amazon. Within this kit you'll find 50 of either thing. So 50 sponges, 50 inserts, 50 domes, and 50 stickers. So this will come in handy for a little bit. I go through these sponges so quickly. So first thing you want to do is obviously soak your sponge. That's what we're going to do right now. So ideally you want to soak your sponges for at least 5 minutes. You want to make sure that it's fully saturated with water. The last thing you want to do is add in a dry sponge. So while those pods are soaking, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to fill all these jars to the appropriate level. I'm probably going to fill it up to about here. You want to make sure that you leave some air in the jar. Now this is filtered water. What you want to make sure is that your pH is looking good. I already know that my filtered water is at a 6, whereas my hard water is at an 8. So if I were to use the hard water, I would definitely have to do some adjusting with my pH. Since I already know what my pH is, there's absolutely no need to readjust this water. The water is fine. All I really need to do is add nutrients. So because these are 32-ounce jars and I usually do my nutrients based on a gallon, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to add in a quarter of the nutrients into this 32-ounce jar, if that makes sense. Obviously do the math based on whatever container size you're using, but make sure that you're not over adding nutrients. I found out the hard way that actually will kill your plants. So because this is lettuce, I'm not going to use my Flora Grow, Flora Micro, and Flora Bloom. I'm just going to use these AeroGarden plant food containers, and I'm only going to be using, like I said, a quarter of a milliliter. That's more than enough for these jars. And so that is what my water is looking like. It's got a little tint of color, and that's it. But again, you really need to know exactly your measurements in order to provide the proper amount of nutrients. Don't overdo it, people. Do not overdo it. Okay, so that's 1. And I'm just going to continue on until I have 6. Now that all my jars are done, all of my sponges are now properly soaked. So it's time for us to add them. So I'm going to take a grow basket, a grow sponge, place it inside of my jar. That's what it's looking like. When I first started hydroponics, I was adding 4 seeds per pod, but I stopped doing that because most of the time your seeds, both of them or all of them, will survive, and then you're gonna have to thin it out and then add it to a different sponge. So I only add 2 seeds per pod now, just to reduce the wasting of seeds. So I know these seeds are very tiny, and sometimes it's really helpful to use tweezers in order to put them in case you are struggling. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a sticker on top to prevent algae. You want to make sure that you're careful with these stickers because that middle piece is so easy to take off. So it should look like that. Now these stickers are actually pretty large that the dome doesn't really do much, but I mean, you still want to add the humidity dome to create some humidity, so you can just kind of prop that on top and leave it alone. That's 1. And if you want to identify these, what I tend to do is, since obviously you can't stick like a identifier or a marker on here, I tend to just add tape and then write on the outside of the jar, just so that you can distinguish between what's what. Like so. This is the Little Jim Butterhead lettuce. They all look fairly the same. Butterhead lettuce done. So what I'm also doing is just writing the date on one of them just so that I know exactly when these were germinated. I'm getting faster every time. As you can see, there was nothing to that. So all you're gonna do is place them in front of a well-lit area. I'm gonna have them in front of grow lights. These should start sprouting within a few weeks, and you should start seeing a nice head of lettuce in about 4. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and I'll be seeing you until next time.